Welcome to the Fit and Free Show, cluttery office style with ZGALA the Art Angel. That's me. You can call me Auntie Angel if you like. I'm in the, well, it's actually substantially less cluttery office, but still qualifies. But anyway, it's all a work in progress, as I've been known to say. And none of it is going to stop me from checking in with my body, letting go of some stress. Can't say it never stops me from doing that, but that's why I keep climbing back on the horse, metaphorically speaking, or getting back on track, more precisely speaking. Maybe I just have a regular, not maybe, I have a regular habit of falling off track, but I also have a regular habit of getting back on track. So over time, it totals up to, could be better, could be worse. And ultimately, that's probably where most of us are going to come in. I'm oversharing all that just to maybe it'll help you feel better about wherever you're at. In any case, as usual, I'm going to do a little stretching, a little strengthening, just a little checking in with my own body, and I invite you to join me to whatever degree feels good in your body. I like to remind you always, I got to get off my feet here. That's not what I want to remind you. I want to remind you to listen to your own body and get off your own feet if they're talking to you. Always follow your own lead. Make sure you don't do anything that doesn't feel right in your body. I'm just here to hopefully motivate you and maybe spark some ideas, but certainly not to say you have to do exactly what I'm doing or that you even should. So, all that said, let's talk about, just for a little bit longer, let's talk about listening to the body. So just now I was I'm reaching over here. Can you hear that? That's my mini trampoline, my little cellar sizer, a great piece of equipment that I have enjoyed over the years. But today when I tried to jump on it, which I had to stop doing last year due to some nerve damage issues, and then I've been healing, and so I thought I've been slowly getting back to it, and I have been doing it. But today it was undeniable that within less than a minute of jumping on it, my arms started to go numb, my nerve symptoms started to flare up, and so I have to just adjust. And the thing is, that doesn't mean I can't work out, it doesn't mean I can't do things to heal. It just means I need to adjust. So, I'm in a business group where the same principle applies in a completely different context. And I think that's why I wanted to bring it up. There's always this temptation when something gets in our way or something doesn't go the way we wish it would, or we had planned on it going, that we'd hinged our plans on, that then the temptation is to go like, just toss all the plans to the wind, say, well, I tried and it didn't work, and then just go mope or have some ice cream or whatever it is. But the thing is, that's just the first little step, and actually there can be many, many iterations of that first step of trying, finding out that that's not ideal. And the way you find that out is by paying attention to data. And there are many kinds of data, but all of it comes through your body. Your meat suit is where you're filtering all of it, at least on some level, to some degree. There are lots of other interfaces for collecting and analyzing data, increasingly all the time, and that's exciting. But I think it's important just to keep in mind that your body is your main, like your most important piece of equipment when it comes to processing and responding to all the data that you're going to get in this life. So back around, the fitter you are, the freer you can be, the more you can implement your own self-will, and the more you can, the better chance you'll have of doing the things you want to do. And the more you damage yourself in various ways, then the more limitations you will have on yourself. And this is coming from me, who has many, many self-imposed limitations, some of which are more ingrained than others. So enough about all that. Heavens, that was a lot. Let's get to a little bit of stretching. I'm in my long underwear, procrastinating going to the mountain, but not really, because good friend of mine is already up there, sent me a picture of the long line and the one lift not moving. And it's just as well that I didn't rush out the door to go wait in line in the cold. So I'm going to do a little of this, little of that, and then put on my snow pants and go see what I can see for a few hours, because it's a close mountain. I like to start off with a little bit of free arm swinging like this, just kind of just feeling into the body, getting it moving, especially if it's chilly or you've been sitting a long time. I've been sitting a long time. Both of those are true. I'm going to move this out of my way. I already mentioned how cluttery my office is, but it's under progress is underway. Let's do a little full body stretch. I'm going to start here and step back with the left foot, coming into a moderate lunge and pulling these hips onto the perpendicular line. Feet are relatively parallel. I like to make sure I can see that toe past that front knee and push into that back heel, feeling in for that strong line through the center, the core of the body. Rolling the shoulders down and back a little bit. Just kind of feeling into that. I'm going to come onto that diagonal line, pushing from the heel through the spine, out the fingertips, still pulling those hips onto that perpendicular line. And then I'm going to slide that back foot out onto the toe, bringing both hands out on either side of that front foot for a nice deep lunge there. I'm going to pull that back toe forward a little bit, push onto the heel. You can stay on this carpet because it'll slide around on this tile. And forward folding over that relatively straight leg. It doesn't have to be all the way straight, but I'm still pulling these hips onto that perpendicular line, and I'm aiming the chin for the toes, so relatively straight line with the upper body, straight line with the lower body. Just draping the upper body over the lower body. I'm going to bring the palms down, bending the knee if need be, and bring weight onto the hands and bring that front foot back, pushing into Adho Mukha Asana or downward facing dog. Pressing down in the heels, pressing back with the hips, pressing down with the chest and the heart. Nice long line from the fingers through the spine, out the tailbone if possible, relaxing the belly. And then moving forward, I'm going to come through that plank position briefly and then pass the plank into, let's make it a upward facing dog, so keeping the body over, like extend off the floor, that's what I'm trying to say. As opposed to a cobra with the body on the floor. Just a nice gentle stretch through the front of the body, lifting the chest, lifting the eyes, maybe bringing the legs together for support, maybe keeping them apart to kind of play with, see how those feel. Sometimes I like to kind of rock on the toes just a little bit to play around with that a little bit, maybe wiggle back and forth in the hips a little bit, and then lifting those hips. I'm going to catch the edge of that carpet again, and then push back, pushing the hips toward the wall behind, pushing the heels down. I'm going to swing this left foot forward in between the hands for a nice deep lunge on that side. And then step forward with that back foot and come into a forward fold. Just let gravity do some unwinding there. Enjoying a nice heavy sigh. Some snap, crackle, pops. I'm going to adjust the shirt and Bend the knees, swing the arms back, and come into a bit of a counter stretch, pushing the hips forward, looking up into those palms maybe. Coming back into mountain pose. Just checking in with the alignment, relaxing the bottoms of the feet, relaxing the hips over the ankles, relaxing the shoulders over the hips, lengthening the back of the neck a little bit. And then stepping back with the right foot into a moderate lunge, pulling these hips again onto that perpendicular line. Feet are relatively parallel. Pushing into that back heel. Checking that I can see the front toes past that front knee. And just feeling again for that nice strong line through the core of the body. Let's push onto that diagonal line. Pushing from the heel through the spine. Still pulling those hips onto the perpendicular line. Out the fingertips. And continuing to slide that back foot out, coming up onto the toes. Bring the hands on either side of this front knee, all the way down to the floor into a nice deep lunge here. And then I'm going to pull that back foot forward just enough to push back onto that heel and straighten this front leg, draping the upper body over the lower body. Still using my hands on either side for support. And you can bend that knee as need be. You could try using the leg for support. It's a little bit more challenging. And I'm feeling a little wobbly today, so I'm just going to keep the hands on either side of that leg. And continue to work the hips onto the perpendicular line. Continuing to point the chin for the toes. Nice long upper body, nice long lower body. And then bring some weight onto those hands. I'm going to bring that foot back and push into Adho Mukha Asana, or downward facing dog. Pressing down in the heels, pressing back in the hips, pressing down with the heart and the chest. And swinging the body forward. Let's go all the way into the cobra this time, dropping the hips down to the floor, releasing the toes, pushing up through the palms, lifting the chest, lifting the eyes, relaxing the belly if possible, keeping these legs together to protect that low back if need be. Trying to get a nice stretch from the pubic bone all the way through the belly, out the chin. And then I'm going to shift back to about a 90-degree angle with the lower body and slide these hands out, bringing the forehead to the floor for Uttana Shishosana, or extended puppy pose. Nice one to pair with downward facing dog. Stretching the chest and the shoulders, continuing to slide those fingertips out as is comfortable. For me, that's pretty intense, but really good feeling stretch. Just kind of restful on the forehead, relaxing the belly, sliding the fingers out. And then I'm going to start to walk those back, lifting the forehead, and come to a tabletop position with the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, relatively flat back. Do a couple rounds of cat to cow breathing, exhaling into cat or Marjariyasana, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin, pushing out the air with the abdomen, rounding the spine. And then inhaling into the belly, lifting through the chest, lifting with the tailbone, Vittilasana or cow pose, and exhaling again. Rounding. Inhaling and lifting. Exhaling and rounding. connecting. Exhaling and rounding. Come back to tabletop. I'm going to walk these hands out. Tuck these toes under and lift the knees, lift the hips, pushing back into downward facing dog or Adho Mukha Asana. Pressing the heels down. Let's tread those heels just a little bit. Bending one knee. Bending the left knee, pressing into the right. Bending the right knee, pressing into the left. Doing that a couple of times, and then pushing into both heels. And I'm going to swing that right foot forward in between the hands for that nice deep lunge on the other side. Using the hands on either side for support. And then stepping forward, coming into that forward fold, just hanging here, letting gravity do some unwinding. And I'm going to slowly roll up, pushing from the bottoms of the feet, the center of the earth, one vertebra at a time, checking in with the spine all the way. Like to just feel into that alignment, imagining myself held gently in traction between the center of the earth and the center of the universe, through the spine, through the bottoms of the feet, through the top of the head. Check in with my nervous system, which is a little whatever today, little whatever. Hey, thanks for stopping by and joining me for this transitional office edition of the Fit and Free Show. I hope you will like and subscribe. It does help me out a lot. And above and beyond all else, I hope you will remember to love yourself today, because you're worthy and you're enough exactly as you are. And also, you can probably do more than you think. So I hope you will also remember that your body is the one thing you can't live without, really the foundation of all the other things. So give it a little love, give it a little listening, give it a little attention. And thanks for being you. I'll be seeing you soon. Ciao for now.